Hi, healers. I was talking a little bit about post-separation abuse and then parallel parenting. And what I wanted to do is just address the fact that why we have to do these things. Like, why are we actually going no contact with the post-separation abuse? Why are we doing the parallel parenting? Well, the parallel parenting is like parallel lines. They don't touch, they don't connect. They operate their own house over on one side, and the other one operates their other house on the other side with the children separately. And when the children are over there, they do as that parent says and they do as the other parent says, and they don't co-parent. They don't cooperate in the parenting. Besides the necessities, but you let the other parent run their house like they want to, and vice versa, without cooperating. You're not going to get together at games and things. And if you do go to a game and or event, you're going to sit away from the other parent. There's no co-parenting with an abuser, okay? Or a toxic person. The reason why you got away from the relationship to begin with is because there was communication issues. So you really cannot communicate with this person. You're done trying to. You spent maybe years, months, and you're not going to go back and try to communicate with them just because of separation. Now, abusers use these opportunities to continue to abuse. Abuser doesn't stop abusing. Now, you don't really want to go ahead and say, we got to need to put the abusers out and, they don't belong in society and things like this. But in actuality, when they've abused you, you need to put them out of your society, okay? So that's what you're looking to do. You're putting them out of your society. They can go along in society as long as they're following rules, but they're not going to be in your circle. You're not in your social circle at all, okay? So if they do have to communicate with the children because they weren't abusive towards the children, because you're just going to let them handle the children on their end, okay? So a lot of times it's partner abuse and the children weren't abused. So you don't have to worry about them maybe not being safe or anything like that. And the children, if they're old enough to let you know, then they'll let you know. But the thing is, you can't have this other abusive parent over on your side where you're parenting. So that's why you're doing the parallel parenting. Um, the fact that they want to come over and check out what's going over on your side and maybe be open to the fact that you're invited over to their house for a barbecue. And if you're going to be allowed to go to their house to have a barbecue and have the kids and have an event, then they should be allowed to come to your house and have an event and have a barbecue. Those are the situations that you're not going to do. You're not going to get going over there. And so, why are we going to do this? Because we're protecting ourselves, right? But we're protecting ourselves because we came to a place where we needed to get away from the abuser so we could heal. So let's just say you're allergic to something. And so the doctor said you need to stay away from this thing. You have an allergy. So you stay away from this thing. But then you go back and you have some of this. And then you go back away from it. You have it and then you get away from it. You have it and you get away from it. Then you go back to the doctor and the doctor's like, "How are you feeling?" And you're like, "Well, pretty much the same. Nothing's really improved." And you've stayed away from this allergen? Oh, well, actually, I haven't stayed away from it completely, but I stay away from it sometime. And the doctor's going to say, "We need to stay away from this 100%. This is making you sick." Our body responds to abuse and trauma the same way. So I'm not saying there isn't a time when even in a food you're allergic to, your immune system can build up again. And if you go a long time without something, you may be able to have it. And you may be able to have it occasionally after a few years, and maybe once in a while. But that's exactly how it goes with an abuser. Okay. So when you first get away from an abuser and you're going through post separation abuse, that's not the time to keep getting involved with the abuser. So your body is set out to protect itself. That's its main goal. Your body's main job is to protect itself so that it can heal and so that it can grow and so that it can energize. So that's what your skin, the first thing that you have is you have your skin, which protects anything from getting inside so that everything can work the way it's supposed to, right? So your skin is actually a boundary to toxins, a boundary to bacteria, a boundary from heat and cold, right? And so everything's safely wrapped inside your skin. So your boundary is going to be your parallel parenting or your no contact. So it's not like a mean tactic to keep this abuser at bay and, be mean back because he was or she was abusive. No. This is a protection, okay? You're protecting your body from reopening the wounds that they caused through the abuse, through the neglect, through the verbal abuse, through the emotional abuse. So all of these were wounds. And so putting yourself out in front of this person is like exposing yourself to the same illness over and over again and reopening the wounds. So you're going to need a long time to heal and to be on your healing journey for quite a while before you're going to go ahead and just put yourself right back in front of the very thing that caused the wounds. So I just wanted to make that clear because, I may be a little bit rough when it comes to detaching and detoxing from toxic people and abusive people, but I've had the real high end of abusive, toxic people. So keep that in mind too. I mean, I've seen lower ends, but to have to go through post separation abuse is usually extreme. You can get away from abusers without them ever bothering you again, or you may never hear from them again. But then there's others who are extreme and they continue to abuse through other people. And that's another thing why we need to separate from their people because they've actually passed on the abusive way in the disrespectful way onto their society. So that's why we're not gonna get involved with their society. Let them be over there in their own society and you keep your society, okay? And so I just wanted to make that clear. We want to give abusers a chance to recuperate, get back out into society, and we want them to have healthy relationships. And especially if we have children with them, we want them to have healthy relationships with our children. But as long as they continue to deny that they've been abusive or that they've harmed you in any way, they are not going to be allowed to infiltrate your protection. Whatever it is you feel like you need for protection, and there's absolutely no reason why that should be questioned. Okay, so make sure you let people know that you're not your boundaries aren't something that's gonna waver. Okay, they're gonna stand. That's good. Have a great night.